After almost 15 years of complete silence, the iconic name in tactical shooters has finally returned. Delta Force is back, and it looks like this time it's here to stay. For those of us who remember the late 90s and early 2000s, Delta Force wasn't just another shooter, it was a game changer. A pioneer that brought realistic military action and large-scale environments to a screen like never before. And now, this forgotten franchise, which first made its mark back in 1998, is stepping back into the spotlight. Back then, Delta Force captured the hearts of gamers with its focus on realism, strategy, and that adrenaline-pumping feeling of being a lone operative deep behind enemy lines. It was about flashy graphics or over-the-top action. It was about the thrill of the hunt, using terrain, planning, and skill to outmaneuver and outgun your enemies, and many of us, it was a love at the first sight. But fast forward today, and the question on everyone's mind is, can this new Delta Force live up to its legendary roots? Is it as good as the hype suggests, and more importantly, does it have what it takes to set a new standard for the first-person shooters, one that will leave its mark on future games to come? There are more questions that we're going to answer. In this video, we're going to deep dive into the heart of the FPS genre, tracking back to the origins of Delta Force, understanding why it became such a beloved title, and exploring how it steps against today's standards. We'll uncover the key elements that made the series a fan favorite and see if the latest installment can not only recapture that magic, but redefine what we expect from a tactical shooter. Stick around as we journey through time, exploring the legacy of Delta Force, dissecting its comeback, and finding out if it truly has what it takes to the new benchmark for FPS games. Whether you're a long-time fan or a newcomer to the series, this is one video you won't want to miss. Behind every legendary game is a studio that dared to dream, innovate, and push the boundaries of what is possible. For the Delta Force series, that studio was NovaLogic. Founded on August 7, 1985 by John Garcia, NovaLogic wasn't just another name in the gaming industry, it was a pioneer. Back then, Garcia Talented Software was working at a studio named That Soft in Southern California. Little did he know that his vision would soon reshape a landscape of military simulation games. NovaLogic's journey began with a focus on breathing new life into previously published games, often creating PC conversions of popular title arcade titles, but it wasn't long before NovaLogic would carve out into its own niche in the gaming world, thanks to a groundbreaking innovation, the voxel space engine. Enter 1992 and NovaLogic's release of Comanche Maximum Overkill. This wasn't just another flight simulator, it was the first game to utilize the revolutionary voxel space engine. Conceived by electrical engineer Kyle Freeman, the engine allowed for expansive outdoor environments and incredibly detailed terrain, something previously unseen in gaming. Fun fact, Freeman's expertise didn't come from gaming, it came from developing medical technology. This unique background led to a technology breakthrough that set NovaLogic apart from its competitors. Following the success of Comanche Maximum Overkill, NovaLogic launched a series of military-themed games, each pushing the boundaries of realism and immersion, from the skies of the F-22 series to the ground with armored fist tank simulators. NovaLogic becomes synonymous with military simulation excellence. Their knack for creating authentic, engaging, exercising caught the attention of more than just gamers. In 1996, NovaLogic Systems Incorporated was born, a subsidiary focused on creating training simulators for the US Army. The collaboration marked NovaLogic as a serious player not only in entertainment but also in the military training and technology. But NovaLogic's innovation didn't stop at game development. In 1997 they launched NovaWorld, a free online matchmaking service that brought players together for massive online battles long before the likes of Steam and Xbox Live. It allowed for large-scale multiplayer experiences and stat tracking, laying the groundwork for modern online gaming communities. This was a major leap forward at a time when online gaming was still in its infancy. After more than 30 years of innovation and over 50 games, NovaLogic's journey took a new turn. On October 31st, 2016, THQ Nordic announced that they had acquired NovaLogic's assets, including the rights to all of its iconic games and projects. Under this new leadership, the legacy of NovaLogic lives on, with THQ Nordic now at the helm of the Delta Force franchise. This acquisition has brought new life into the series, promising to honor NovaLogic's rich history while pushing forward into the future. To truly understand the new Delta Force game, we have to look back to where it all began. It was October 21st, 1998 when the original Delta Force was launched in the United States. This wasn't just another shooter. NovaLogic's masterpiece was something entirely different, a military simulation that felt raw and realistic, inspired by the elite US Army unit of the same name. It quickly became a critical and commercial success, making waves in a world dominated by fast-paced arcade-style shooters. Unlike other shooters of the time, Delta Force put players into the boots of a Delta Force operator, engaging in covert operations across various global hotspots. You weren't just running and gunning, you were strategizing, sniping, and thinking like a real soldier. The mission required careful planning, wherever you are eliminating a high-value target, sabotaging enemy equipment, or rescuing hostages. The game's focus on realism, combined with its unique voxel-based graphics, set it apart from anything out there. But what really set Delta Force apart was its pioneering use of LAN and online multiplayer. Players could team up to take the game's missions cooperatively or engage in its competitive modes like Deathmatch, King of the Hill, or Capture the Flag. Suddenly, you weren't just playing against AI, you were testing your skills against other human players. The adrenaline of facing off against real opponents helped to cement Delta Force as a foundational game in tactical shooter genre. The reviews were overwhelmingly positive. Critics praised its mission design, its soundscape, and the tension that came with each operation. GameSpot compared it to Rainbow Six, another tactical shooter released the same year, nothing Delta Force emphasis on long-range engagements and its unique flavor of realism. PC Gamer highlighted its blend of action and tactics, making it a welcome addition to the growing genre of tactical shooters. With such a strong debut, a sequel was inevitable. Just a year later, Delta Force 2 was released, building upon its predecessor's success. This time, NovaLogic introduced a mission editor, giving players the power to create their own battlegrounds and scenarios. It also enhanced the multiplayer experience, supporting up to 50 players in a single match, a remarkable achievement at that time. Despite some criticism of its dated visuals, the game's commitment to tactical, long-distance combat kept fans hooked. As the new millennium dawned, the Delta Force series continued to evolve. 2002 brought us Delta Force Task Force Dagger and Delta Force Urban Warfare. For the first time, the series made its way to consoles, with Urban Warfare debuting on the original PlayStation. Though these titles received mixed reviews, they expanded the series' reach, offering new stories and missions that kept the fans engaged. Perhaps the most significant leap came with Delta Force Black Hawk Down in 2003. This installment took a bold step away from the series' roots, trading the open, long-range engagements for gritty, close-quarters combat in urban environments. Set during the infamous Battle of Mogadishu, the game was more cinematic, more intense, and focused heavily on storytelling. While it might have abandoned some of the tactical purities that defined earlier entries, its graphics, narrative, and expanded multiplayer, which supported up to 50 players, made it stand out. An expansion pack, Team Saber, followed in 2004, adding new campaign in Colombia and Iran, further enriching the Black Hawk Down experience. The expansion demonstrated NovaLogic's commitment to keeping their player base engaged, offering fresh content and new challenges. In the years that followed, the Delta Force series saw a shift. 2005's Delta Force Extreme revisited the original games with a budget-friendly approach, offering redesigned missions from the classic Delta Force campaigns. It catered to the nostalgic fans who longed for old-school tactical feel, even if it didn't break new ground. Delta Force Extreme 2 in 2009 continued this trend, adding new multiplayer features and a mission editor, but failing to capture the magic of the series' earlier days. Critics were underwhelmed, noting that while Delta Force 1 set the standard for tactical shooters, the genre has evolved and Extreme 2 felt stuck in the past. And then silence. For years, fans wondered if the series had been permanently retired. Now, in 2024, we stand on the brink of a new era for Delta Force. The upcoming installment promises to honor the legacy of the series while pushing the boundaries of what a tactical shooter can be. The question remains, can the new Delta Force recapture the essence that made the original game so special? Can it once again redefine what it means to be a tactical shooter? Only time will tell. But if history has taught us anything, is that Delta Force never backs down from a challenge. On August 22nd, 2023, the long-awaited moment finally arrived. After nearly 15 years of silence, the Delta Force series returned to the spotlight with a stunning reveal trailer. Originally known as Delta Force Hack Ops, the game has since been renamed to simply Delta Force. The trailer gave fans a glimpse of what's to come, signaling a modern setting that's grounded and intense as its predecessors. But in a market crowded with first-person shooters, can Delta Force make a triumphant comeback and set a new standard for the genre? One thing is immediately clear from the trailer: NovaLogic's legacy lives on. While many of its competitors have explored different timelines, taking us from the trenches of World War I to the high-tech battlefields of the distant future, Delta Force seems determined to keep its feet firmly planted in the present. This choice to maintain a modern military setting suggests a desire to stay true to the series' roots, focusing on the kind of realistic, competitive combat that made Delta Force a household name amongst tactical shooter enthusiasts. While franchises like Call of Duty and Battlefield have ventured into historical and futuristic territories, experimenting with World War I scenarios and advanced tech like jetpacks and wall running, Delta Force is opting for a more grounded approach. It's a bold move, one that could set it apart in a landscape where many shooters are constantly looking to the past or future for inspiration. The trailer introduced us to a variety of operators, each seemingly equipped with unique abilities. Although it's unclear whether the footage represents single-player or multiplayer gameplay, the inclusion of operators suggests that Delta Force might be embracing some elements of class-based gameplay. One clip shows an operator performing a takedown on an enemy soldier, hinting at the inclusion of finishing moves, bringing a new level of immersion and tactical depth to combat. Speaking of combat, the weapons arsenal display is impressive. We see a wide range of options, from pistols and SMGs to assault rifles and sniper rifles, giving players plenty of tools to suit their playstyle. In a genre where gunplay is king, the variety and feel of these weapons could be crucial in setting Delta Force apart from its competitors. Beyond the weapons, the gadgets teased in the trailer add a new layer of strategy. One gadget fires an arrow that can mark enemies through walls, giving players a tactical advantage by revealing enemy positions. Another deploys a swarm of micro-drones to produce a small cover, offering creative solutions to battlefield challenges. These gadgets could become game changers, blending traditional military tactics with cutting-edge technology. No Delta Force game could be complete without vehicles, and the trailer doesn't disappoint. We see tanks rumbling through battlefield, ATVs speeding across rough terrain, LAVs providing mobile firepower, and helicopters dominating the skies. Vehicle combat has always been a hallmark of the series, and the return hits at large scale, multi-dimensional warfare where players must master land, air, and sea to claim victory. The trailer wraps up with a call to action. Pre-register now to be among the first to experience the new Delta Force. With availability across PlayStation, Xbox and PC, NovaLogic is making sure no player is left behind. However, it's important to note that the footage we've seen is still in pre-alpha. While the gameplay looks promising, we should take these early glimpses with a grain of salt. From what we've seen, the new Delta Force looks like it's ready to reclaim its place in the tactical shooter genre. By staying true to its roots while incorporating modern gameplay elements, the game could offer a unique blend of strategy, realism, and action. As we eagerly wait for more details, one thing is certain: Delta Force is back and it's ready to make some noise. At Gamescom 2024, the latest trailer for Delta Force Reboot was unveiled, providing a closer look at the game's features and importantly announcing early access for PC. This announcement has generated significant interest as it will allow players to experience the game firsthand and offer feedback. But what exactly does the latest trailer tell us about what to expect from Delta Force? The new trailer introduces a range of launchers showcasing both lock-on and free aim options. This variety hints at a desire to appeal to different playstyles, catering to players who prefer strategic targeting and those who enjoy the challenge of manual aim. Whether this will add meaningful depth to the gameplay or simply be a cosmetic difference remains to be seen, but it certainly shows that the developers are thinking about providing options. One of the standout features of the trailer is destructible environments. We see walls being blown apart, even entire buildings collapsing. Destructible environments have been a staple in modern FPS games, offering both strategic advantages and immersive realism. It will be interesting to see how deeply this feature is integrated into Delta Force gameplay and whether it will significantly influence tactical decisions. The trailer also hinted at weapon customization, with glimpses of various attachments being swapped on rifles. This aligns with current trends in the FPS genre, where personalization and player choice have become important. While it's a promising feature, its effectiveness will depend on how balanced and impactful these customizations are in actual gameplay. Will these options provide meaningful gameplay differences, or they will just be superficial changes? Vehicle gameplay appears to be another focus, with scenes featuring tanks and helicopters. Including vehicles can add another layer to the combat, providing both mobility and firepower. This challenge will be in balancing these elements to ensure they complement rather than dominate the infantry gameplay. How Delta Force handles this balance could be a key factor in its success. This trailer also gives us our first look at Team Jade, the developers taking the helm of this reboot. The focus on verticality operators using grappling hooks and scaling buildings suggests an effort to add new dynamics to gameplay. Verticality could enhance tactical options, but its success will largely depend on how intuitive and fluid these mechanics feel in the real gameplay scenarios. The trailer concludes with an announcement that more details will be revealed at Steam Next Fest in October 24. Along with the promise of early access. This will be a critical phase for Delta Force, providing an opportunity to gather feedback and make adjustments before the full release. Early access could be a chance for developers to fine-tune the gameplay, address potential issues, and ensure that the final product meets player expectations. On August 6, Delta Force Hawk Ops entered its alpha phase, giving players their first hands-on experience with the game. Accompanying the alpha launch was a new trailer that provided a closer look at what the game has to offer. However, it's worth noting that the alpha version does not include access to the much anticipated Black Hawk Down campaign remake or any other single-player modes. Instead, the focus is firmly on the game's two primary multiplayer modes. One of these modes is Hazard Operation, where players are grouped into teams of 3. In this mode, your objective is to locate and extract valuable loot and resources. The twist is that you'll be competing not only against other player teams, but also against AI-controlled enemies in what is being described as a PvPvE extraction mode. Players need to manage threats from both human and AI opponents, could offer a unique tactical challenge, though how well it will be balanced remains to be seen. The second mode featured in the alpha is Havoc Warfare. According to an official blog post, this mode is described as bombastic, suggesting a focus on large-scale chaotic combat. In Havoc Warfare, players are divided into two teams of 32, battling across massive maps with the goal of controlling various areas. With up to 64 players engaged at once, this mode can bring a new level of intensity to Delta Force, emphasizing coordinated team play and strategic positioning. Two maps are available in the alpha for Havoc Warfare, both designed to accommodate the large player count and provide ample opportunities for tactical maneuvers. The sheer size of these maps may encourage diverse strategies, from tactical assaults to flanking maneuvers and long-range engagements. However, the success of this mode would likely depend on how well the maps are designed and whether they offer a balanced experience that caters to different playstyles. With the alpha now live, player feedback will be crucial in shaping the final game. The inclusion of both the tactical, smaller scale extraction mode and large scale warfare mode suggests that Delta Force Hawk Ops is aiming to appeal to a broad range of FPS fans. Whether it can deliver on these promises and offer something fresh in a competitive market remains to be seen. Early feedback will be key to understanding how these modes are received and what adjustments may be needed before the game's full release. Since the alpha test for Delta Force, formerly known as Delta Force Hawk Ops, launched on August 6, 2024, players have been eagerly diving into the game, exploring its features and getting a taste of what this latest installment of the series has to offer. Although the alpha does not currently have an end date, it has provided a substantial look into the game's mechanics and modes, giving us a clearer picture of how it might shape the future of first-person shooters. The alpha offers access to 3 primary game modes, each designed to highlight different aspects of gameplay. Hazard Operation is a tactical PvPvE extraction mode, where players in squad of 3 must deploy into hostile environment with a pre-selected loadout. The objective is to find and extract valuable loot and resources, while contending not only with other player teams but also AI-controlled enemies. The dynamic nature of this mode, with its combination of human and AI threats, makes every match feel unique and unpredictable, forcing players to strategize and adapt on the fly. Havoc Warfare, as described in official communications as bombastic, this mode lives up to its reputation. It pits 2 teams of 32 players against each other on massive sprawling maps. The goal is to capture and control various strategic points, reminiscent of large-scale battle modes seen in games like Battlefield. The emphasis here is on chaos, large-scale combat, and the use of both infantry and vehicle warfare to dominate the battlefield. The maps are not only vast but also feature significant verticality, allowing for dynamic combat scenarios where players can gain an advantage from higher ground. Black Hawk Down mode serves as a tribute to the iconic Delta Force Black Hawk Down game. While the alpha does not currently include the full campaign remake, this mode allows players to relive some of the classic experiences from that game. The environments and missions are designed to replicate the intense urban combat scenarios that Black Hawk Down has known for, providing a nostalgic yet modernized experience for fans of the original. Delta Force utilizes the power of Unreal Engine 5, which is a major leap forward for the series. The graphics are nothing short of stunning, showcasing a high degree of detail that ranges from realistic weapon models to intricately designed landscapes. The environmental detail is particularly noteworthy, with dynamic weather conditions and destructible elements that change the flow of the combat. For example, a building that provides cover at one moment might be reduced to rubble the next, forcing players to constantly adapt their strategies. The use of advanced lighting and shadow effects enhances the immersion, making firefights feel intense and realistic. Explosions light up the sky, casting dynamic shadows, while smoke effects can obscure vision, creating opportunities for tactical maneuvers. The realism is further enhanced by the fluid character animations, which make movements and action appear natural and responsive. Sound plays a critical role in Delta Force, elevating the overall immersion. The developers have paid meticulous attention to audio fidelity, ensuring that everybody from the crack of a rifle shot to the rumble of distant explosions sounds authentic. This attention to detail is crucial, as the good sound design can often be the difference between a good and a great first-person shooter. The game uses directional audio cues to help players identify the location of enemies, enhancing both the realism and tactical depth of the gameplay. Ambient sounds, such as wind blowing through the trees or distant chatter of wildlife, helps to create a living, breathing world. The musical score complements the action with tension-building tracks that ramp up during firefights, making each encounter feel like a cinematic moment. In the alpha, players have access to a range of 16 different weapons, including pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, and shotguns. Each weapon has been meticulously modeled to reflect its real-life counterpart, not just in appearance, but also in handling and recoil. The game introduces a robust weapon customization system, allowing players to modify their loadouts to suit their playstyle. Weapons can be equipped with various attachments such as scopes, grips, and silencers, which can significantly alter their performance. For example, adding a long-range scope to a rifle can turn it into a makeshift sniper, while equipping a suppressor can allow up for stealthier engagements. The customization options extend beyond just performance tweaks. Players can also personalize their weapons with different skins and camos, giving them a unique look on the battlefield. This system of customization encourages experimentations and offers players the flexibility to tailor their gear for different game modes or combat scenarios. Whether you prefer to engage enemies at long range with a sniper rifle or rush in with a shotgun, Delta Force provides you the tools to support your preferred playstyle. The alpha introduces 7 operators, each with unique abilities that can turn the tide of battle. These operators are reminiscent of those seen in games like Rainbow Six Siege, where each character brings something different to the team. For instance, one operator might have the ability to deploy a drone that highlights enemies through walls, offering a significant tactical advantage. Another might specialize in demolition, equipped with charges that can breach fortified positions or destroy enemy vehicles. The reception of the alpha has been largely positive. Players have praised the game's visuals, sound design and depth of its tactical gameplay. On platforms like Twitch, the game has been steadily growing in popularity, with streamers showcasing intense firefights and strategic gameplay. The level of visibility is crucial for building hype and attracting a broader player base, especially in the competitive FPS market. Moreover, Delta Force seems to have been optimized well even in the alpha state. The game has relatively low system requirements, making it accessible to a wide range of PC players. Reports of stable performance and good netcode are encouraging, especially for a game that emphasizes large-scale multiplayer battles. While still in early days, and there's a lot more to learn about Delta Force, the signs are promising. The combination of tactical gameplay, high-quality graphics and immersive sound design position it as a strong contender in the FPS genre. As we move closer to the game's full release, I will be interested to see how the developers build upon the foundation laid in the alpha and how the final product will compare to its competitors. For now, players can enjoy the ride and provide valuable feedback that will shape the future of Delta Force. With continued development and community involvement, there's potential for Delta Force to carve out its own niche in the crowded FPS market and perhaps even set a new standard for tactical shooters. As we've seen with examples like Battlefield 2042, even the most promising games can face significant challenges upon release. It's a reminder that while the alpha for Delta Force looks promising, we must remain cautious about its final outcome. The alpha has showcased some exciting potential with its graphics, gameplay and features, but only time will tell how it will translate into the final product. Currently, Delta Force is scheduled for a Q1 2025 release. This timeline provides several months for further development and refinement. During this period, the game will go through various updates and beta phases, which are crucial for addressing any issues identified during the alpha. The transition from alpha to a polished release is a critical phase, and I'm keenly interested in seeing how the developers address feedback and enhance the game. As I continue to follow the development of Delta Force, I'll be keeping a close eye on new updates and any changes. I'll provide detailed coverage on how the game evolves, including new trailers, beta tests and other relevant updates. The ongoing analysis will help determine if the game can live up to the hype and meet the high standards set by its predecessors. For now, there's a lot to look forward to, but it's important to balance excitement with patience. The franchise has a rich history, but there's plenty of hope that this new installment will honor the legacy while pushing the boundaries of what a tactical shooter can be. I'm optimistic, but realistic, understanding that the final product will only reveal itself in the coming months. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on Delta Force and other gaming content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Your support is incredibly valuable and helps me continue to create in-depth content. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know about new updates, reviews and insight into upcoming games. Thank you for watching and for being part of this journey as I follow the development of Delta Force. I'm excited to see what the future holds for this game and share more updates with you. Until next time, stay tuned for more content and I'll see you in the next video.